November 2015, a new month, another chance for a new start in Bulgaria. For politicians, organizations, media, for all of us. However, again, there were media scandals, chaos on the streets, and yet more corruption. While police officers, security guards and fire brigade were protesting on the streets all around the country, the government was still debating on reforms, annual budgets and new state debts, and the media were chasing after hot topics. Suddenly something strange happened. One topic that didn't show any signs to catch the attention of the public suddenly has exploded into hysteria. A Bulgarian Association of Prisoners was nominated for the annual prize of Bulgarian Helsinki Committee for defending human rights. This nomination rose many questions. Would we listen to the voice of prisoners in our country? Are they entitled to voice at all? The central prison in Sofia. Every day people pass along the high fences while going to work. And still, most of us have no idea what is happening behind the walls. We just hope that we will never end up here.
I'm Jock Palfreeman. I was convicted to 20 years of prison in Bulgaria for the premeditated murder and attempted murder of one and of a group of others. My belief is always to try and make wherever you are better, whatever situation you're in, wherever you are, to try and make your conditions around you better for yourself, for everybody. And so continuing along with that, the same reason why I'm in prison is I'm continuing along with that, with the same beliefs that whilst I'm here, I should use my time to try and improve the conditions and the rights of people in the prison. And so as part of this, me and some other prisoners, we have formed a Prisoners Association. And we're a legally registered NGO. It's not just some thought of imaginary organization. And the idea of this is to, when I came here, there was nobody championing prisoners' rights. We were a complete minority of a minority of a minority of a minority. We are just so ostracized from Bulgarian society. There was nobody speaking for our human rights. There was nobody speaking for judicial reforms, for prison reforms. There was no one to speak from our perspective. No one was telling the truth. No one was saying, actually, there are lots of problems here. These are the problems, and the problems are the prison administration and the ministry. And so that's why we formed the association, and working within that association, we are trying to reform the penal system. Basically, there are two realms of problems for prisoners. The first is their criminal cases, which obviously preoccupies most of their time when they first come to prison. So that's their charges and accusations and trials. The second part of problems for prisoners is the problems within prison, trying to get work, trying to do some activities, guards assaulting them, bad food, just normal day-to-day life is made, first of all, it's made incredibly difficult because of prison, and secondly, just like Bulgarians outside have the problem dealing with the Bulgarian state on the day-to-day life, we are completely reliant on the Bulgarian state. So I would like to say to Bulgarians, just every bureaucrat you've ever had a problem with, just imagine if that bureaucrat had the key to your room, had the key to the laundry, had the key to the showers. He was the man or she was the woman who gave you your food 3 times a day, and there was nowhere else you could get these things from, only from these bureaucrats. And that's something that people are just completely not understanding. They believe that somehow people believe that their problems are only for them, and that their problems are not do not impact the same way other people. because in other prisons in Europe, in other institutions or Australia, for example, there is a hierarchy of following the law. Here, the prison and the bureaucrats are just not following the law, and there's no one to complain to because their bosses are also not following the law. And you go high up, you go to the top level, and no one is following the law. No one is willing to make their subordinates follow the law. So really, the Bulgarian state is some type of a workers' union where they have just all agreed we are not going to do our jobs collectively. On the reform level, we've had some results just from the simple fact that we have been able to get a voice from prisoners. We cannot make the ministry listen to us, we cannot make the ministry change or use our suggestions, but just the fact that we have a prisoner's voice means that there is an alternative, that if there is a ministry or an institution willing to listen to the other side of the wall, then that is now an option. Because previously, if you wanted to hear a prisoner's voice, where would you go? Who would you talk with? What would you do? The last 4 years, guards have been actively increasing collective beatings, whereby they are taking groups of prisoners and beating all of them for the perceived violation of one. And this is now happening more and more over the last 4 years. And so on that regard, we have been able to work with outside institutions, for example, Ombudsman's Office, for example, Committee for the Prevention of Torture, to come in and make inspections, because they also need help. They cannot just write reports, they cannot just make recommendations from the air. They need witnesses, they need help finding the witnesses, finding the victims. They need to know where is the victimization happening, where are these assaults, where are the guards beating them, how are they beating them, why are they beating them. And so in that regard, also for the defense of human rights, we've had great success in communicating with outside institutions to help when the Sofia prison is violating human rights, and in the most violent ways. The ministry under BSP and DSP, they stole so much money that there was no money left for water. So the director was turning off the water. And we sent a petition of maybe between 100 and 300 signatures from the association. We sent to the ministry petitioning that the water be turned back on. And this was the same time when they found that 65,000 leva from the prison work fund, which is meant for the rebuilding of the prisons, was not used for repair, it was simply stolen. We've had success in lobbying to change the food, to improve the food, because the food was absolutely atrocious 7 years ago. The food got better in 2010, and then in 2012 it just dropped off the radar. The food just became unedible. It was not appropriate for the sustaining of human life. We lobbied and lobbied and lobbied, and we came under a lot of pressure because a lot of people have interests in keeping the food bad because they're stealing it. So there is a market within the prison. There are guards that were working with prisoners stealing on bulk, en masse. Eventually, in 2013, several people were fired over the food problem for embezzlement, that they were stealing so much money that the food wasn't coming. The company that was delivering the food was just not getting the money. So we were being stolen on multiple levels. Prisoners were stealing, guards were stealing, and the national administration, it's called in Bulgarian Glavna Direkcija, they were all stealing so much that the food became so bad. The worst violence committed in the prison is undoubtedly from the guards against the prisoners, and it's now becoming collective violence whereby 40 guards are beating 5 prisoners, 40 guards are beating 10 prisoners. I myself was beaten on 17th of October 2013 twice in one day. And I've been witness to such collective beatings. Of course we complain and the state refuses to do anything, and all the cases go to Strasbourg. Never has a single guard or a single incident of guards assaulting prisoners been investigated. The prosecutor refuses to even investigate. Whenever the prisoner really gets close to pushing accusations against guards, they then come back and find some false reason to accuse the prisoner of something. And it's becoming worse. The more that the guards are beating us, and the more that they can see that they can get away with it, the next time they come back, they are more ferocious, and has been increasing incrementally over the last 3 or 4 years. The new directors have been allowing the guards to do what they want. It's complete anarchy within the prison. The guards are allowed to beat and assault prisoners how they like. In Bulgarian prisons, you have access to visits twice a month for 40 minutes. There is no way any normal human being can see their family and their friends and stay normal for 80 minutes a month. I would say it's definitely under 1 year that the person undergoes probably severe psychological trauma, and also it's a trauma. It's a social trauma. You know, it's you are ostracized from your family. You are ostracized from your friends. You are ostracized from everything that is normal in the world, and you are put into this surreal, Kafkaesque environment. This finalizes the cut of the prisoner from any normalcy and chance of returning to a normal civilian life. When you come to prison, no one cares. Everyone is just committing crimes again and again. The guards are the first. The administration, the directors of the prison, they're leading the way. They're leading the way in criminality. Basically, in Bulgarian prisons, the message from the administration is commit as many crimes as you want, just don't get caught, and don't make problems for us. For every life that is ruined by this corrupt prison system, it radiates throughout society, and there's no balance, absolutely no balance between the punishments that the judicial system is giving and the social benefits. No balance. It is just completely destroying society, what the prisons are doing. I believe that prisons can be an opportunity for people, but the way that the Bulgarian prisons are now, it's not an opportunity, it's detrimental to society. The way the prisons are now, they are making Bulgaria worse.
A society can be judged by the way it treats its prisoners. What do we make prisons for at all? To rehabilitate criminally convicted people that would eventually rejoin our society, or to just forget about them? Bulgarian prisoners want to defend the violation of their rights. They are part of our society. Not allowing humans be treated like humans is also a crime.